Well, my name is Quaye-Kumah. Hope everyone is having a great day. Well, last week I was sitting in church thinking to myself, exactly how do we get this Bible here, which is an NIV Bible, by the way, New International Version. So, that's exactly what I'll be talking to you about and explaining to you all exactly how we got the English Bible and where it came from and originated. Let's begin. Well, before the 1300s, there was only the Roman Catholic Church that was around in Europe. So that was the main church that many people followed, for it was the only organized and well-known church in the land. And in 1384, this man that you can see here, John Wycliffe, he transferred the Bible from the Latin Vulgate into the English language Bible, and he wrote it, which was the first handwritten manuscript English language Bible written. And then 44 years later, after Wycliffe's death, the Pope was still so frustrated by Wycliffe being able to transfer the Bible into English and showing this to many people, that he had his body remains dug up, crushed, and thrown into the sea. And in 1455, Johann Gutenberg came along and he created the printing press. And the first book to be printed was the Latin Bible. And the significance of this printing press was that many books were able to be mass produced in a short amount of time, instead of them being individually handwritten by a single person. And in 1526, William Tyndale, who was very fluent in many languages, he was actually known as the architect of the English language, for he coined many of the phrases that we use today in society. He was able to print the English Bible, well, the New Testament of the English Bible, in 1526, being the first man to ever do so. Then in 1539, Thomas Cranmer, who was pictured here on the left, hired Miles Coverdale, who's pictured right on the right, at the request of King Henry VII, to publish the Great Bible. And King Henry VII did this so the Europe could please him and worship him. He didn't do this to try to please the people, for that's what the people wanted, but he did that so they could be pleased with him. And this was the first Bible. The Great Bible was the first Bible authorized for public use for others to read. The first English Bible, that is. In the 1550s, the Geneva Church, they hired John Calvin, who's pictured on the right, and John Knox, who's pictured on the left, to help produce a Bible for many to read. And they did so and finished in 1560, with first the New Testament being completed in 1557 and the Old Testament being completed in 1560. And this Bible was so significant because it was very detailed, contained many notes for people to read along with it, and it was the first Bible to add verses, numbered verses to it, to help people through the chapters. And it was actually the first Bible to be known as a study Bible. Then King James I, who is pictured right here, he started a project to have the Geneva Bible revised so it could remove any bad notes that contain about the former Pope or the Roman Catholic Church. And the project, it took 50 scholars to complete from 1605 to 1610. And in 1611, the King James Bible was printed with all 80 books and many more notes for people to read along with. Now I'll just be explaining to you how we got the Bible in America. Okay. The first Bible to be printed in America was done in Anglican, in the Anglican Indian language, by this man pictured here, John Eliot, in 1663. But it was done in Indian language, so many people didn't read it, and it wasn't very recognized until 1782, which was the first English Bible reprinted in America, done by Robert Artisan. And Artisan's Bible was the only Bible ever authorized by the United States Congress. Now, there have been many revisions of the Bible, such as the English Revised Version, the American Standard Version, the New American Standard Version, the New International Version, which is the Bible I have here, which simply just makes it simpler for people to read along with, and the English Standard Version. Although there's been many revisions, none of them have been as popular as the King James Version, which is still the primary Bible in America today. That's the end of my presentation. I hope I was able to inform you on how we got the English Bible. And thank you for your time. Is there any questions?
So don't they have the New King James too?
Yes, ma'am. They do have the New King James.
So why did they make the New King James if they have the King James?
The New King James Version simply just removed the these and the thous from out of the King James Version to try to make it simpler for people to read along with.
But the word is still a word, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And like you said, all they moved is was the thee, thou, go. So it could be simplified for people to read, correct?
Yes.
So on that note, I'm going to ask you a question. Why do you think they have so many different versions of Bibles out there?
I believe this is done to, again, just simplify it, and there's like different notes in each Bible that people added to help people get along with the Bible, and different explanations inside the Bible.
So besides the King James Bible, the rest of the Bible is what people added, or are they going back to biblical days?
They're just simply like reinterpretations of what they got from the King James Version. Not anything I don't believe they added besides like notes and different words.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.